Feel free to follow up with any customers, prospects. And then the other thing that I wanted to share is our promo for distributors this month is a really awesome one. I'm sure most of you have heard. If you are able to help a manager get to manager, hit manager within 30 days of signing up as a distributor, they're going to get an extra $200 on top of if they hit Quick Start and they hit manager within this month of April, they're going to get $100 for Quick Start and they're going to get $200 for manager in addition to the sales of their system or the commission of their system, plus a bonus pool that they'll be in. And then if your distributors hit Quick Start last month but didn't hit manager, they can still hit manager within 60 days and earn an extra $100. So that's really awesome. If you guys have any questions whatsoever, please feel free to reach out to Brian or I, and we'll help explain that to you. Okay, so that's pretty awesome. And I'm going to do a few texting here, Eric, and then I want to introduce you. Okay, so Eric is awesome. We found Eric November of 2019, and Lindsay Shaw reached out to us and asked us if we were interested in a follow-up system. It wasn't free. She definitely said that. And Brian and I are like, follow-up system? Heck yeah, we're interested in a follow-up system if it's organized, because I had tried everything. I had like 16 notebooks. Everything was a mess. I couldn't keep track of anything. So I was like, heck yeah. So we were on the first Teamzy Zoom with our Xyngular upline, sideline upline, explaining it to us. And then, of course, we got started with Teamzy. I will tell you, Brian and I must be special with Teamzy because we use the help button to schedule about 3 Zooms to help us get started and understand it. And everybody from Teamzy is awesome. I do still message Eric to this day if I have any questions. So I am not an expert at Teamzy, but I'm trying to get better every day. And I will say that it's finally come to a point where I feel more in control of my business because I have an accountability partner through Teamzy Bootcamp that I still use. Her name's Sherry out of Minnesota. And so every single night before I go to bed, I have to have my circles connected and I have to text that to Sherry. And I will tell you, Eric, she just texted me the darn picture. And I'm like, Sherry, I haven't logged anything. I'll log in after my Zoom tonight with Eric. So welcome, Eric. We're so glad to have you.
Thank you so much. Hold on one second, guys. My dog just opened the door. Come on. Okay. If the dog can come in, then the 4-year-old can come in and all kinds of havoc can be wreaked around here. Thank you so much for the introduction. I'm excited to be here too. You can tell I'm coming to you from my home as well as coming into yours. So I'm excited to be here. It's amazing. I just looked, Amy, in my Teamzy account and it says the last time I logged to connect was a year ago. It's been a year since we did a team training for you. So I'm excited to be here. Okay, so let me tell you guys what I want to do for you tonight. And how many of you, let me just see your faces real quick. If you can turn on your camera, just turn on real quick. How many of you guys are already using Teamzy? If you give me this, it's okay. I'll assume that's a no and we'll get you excited. Okay, and so folks that are just curious. Okay, so we've got about kind of a mixed bag. Okay, here's what I'm gonna do. I am going to show you guys Teamzy. I'll show you how to set it up. It's really easy to do. And again, you know, as Amy said, we have a great staff who can actually walk you through it one-on-one if you need that. We have FAQs and things like that for you self-reliant people. And if you want help, we'll do a one-on-one Zoom. But I'm going to show you the basics of setting it up. And I want to show you really what Teamzy was designed for, which is to crush power hours. Everything that you need to be doing to build your business, you can get done in less than an hour a day if you're using Teamzy. How cool is that, right? So I'm going to show you guys how to do that. I'll show you the workflows. Software and demonstrate it for you. Uh-oh, it's changing my microphone on me. Okay, we're back to the good one. Okay, good. Before I do that, though, I want to teach you a little bit about the philosophy of relationship marketing. Relationship marketing is the system. I've actually been teaching the system for 20 years. This is the system Teamzy's built to help you work The concept here, and I'll go through this in more detail in a second. The concept here is that you don't need to be an icky salesperson. You don't need to be pushy. You don't need to burn relationships with friends and family to build the business. There's a better way to do it. I'm going to teach you some of that tonight too. Okay, anybody into that? I'll even show you guys how to not be annoying ever when you're building the business. Pretty cool. So it is a lot. I am going to try to give you as much as I can. It may feel like you are drinking water from a fire hose. I apologize in advance. We are recording this call though, by the way, Amy, so you will get a recording of this for the team. I'm going to do a Q&A at the end. So if you guys have a lot of questions, you hang out to the end and we'll make sure that we do it. Okay. I'm getting this message from Zoom that is constantly changing my microphone. So let me just kind of wiggle the wires here, make sure it's plugged in. You guys hear me okay? Yeah? Okay, good. All right, so let's dive right in. I've got everybody muted, or you've got yourselves muted. You're such a good group. But if you do feel, the spirit move and you have to talk, you have the ability to unmute yourselves. Okay, guys? All right, here we go. Are you seeing my presentation now? Great. So this is what I want to talk to you about first, how to systemize your success with relationship marketing to become a power hour boss. All right. So just to kind of give you guys a little bit of my story, I mentioned this just super briefly a second ago, but for the past 20 years, I've been working as a professional business coach and consultant, helping people build their business based on relationships. Over that time, we've just really developed a systematic way to approach building the business this way that has just worked in every kind of business you could ever imagine. About 5 years ago, I started Teamzy, and we'll talk about that in a second. But go back even a couple years before that, about 7 years ago, I was working as a consultant, as a coach, full time for a coaching and consulting company, and I loved my job, but I was constantly working. How many of you guys have a job in addition to trying to do your business? Yeah, and sometimes even you don't have a job, you're still working, right? But I was constantly at my job, constantly grinding, trying to doing what I felt was providing for my family, and I loved what I did, but I just was constantly working. And here's a shot of the family. I never saw my family. The truth of the matter was I rarely saw them. I mean, we used to joke that I'd see my kids in their pajamas. When I was leaving for work, they were in their pajamas still. And when I got home, they were back in their pajamas getting ready for bed. And, I might have 45 minutes with my wife in the evening once we got everybody in bed. It was really not what I wanted. I mean, here I had this career and I was respected and I was making good income, but I just wanted to be around my family. I wanted to have time with them. It was really important to me. And I discovered network marketing. What an incredible opportunity to build income on the side. True? Yeah. And I thought this could give me the freedom that I want, where I could still have the income, but not have to do a 9 to 5, be around for every one of my kids' activities, spend a couple hours a day with my children every single day. And it seemed like a dream, but I started working on my business and started building it. The challenge I had was I already felt like I had no time. And here now I've just added something else to my calendar. Can you guys relate to that? And so when I really looked at how much time I had in a day, I thought, if I could just dedicate 1 hour a day to building this business, I think I could create some momentum pretty quickly. But I needed to make sure that 1 hour is incredibly efficient. Make sense? And so as a business coach myself, I knew exactly what kind of activities I needed to get done. I started looking for tools that would help me leverage that time. See, if you're not using Teamzy, you're spending more than an hour just trying to figure out who to talk to today, right? Trying to get yourself organized. If you're working on pads of paper and don't have that pad of paper, or whatever your system is, everyone's told me everything from index cards to sticky notes to how many of you guys work on sticky notes? It's okay. I used to do that too. The point is that there was just so much time. Hold on, I gotta escape out because I have someone in the waiting room. Here we go. So much time was spent trying to figure out planning. So I was looking for some tools to leverage my time, some technology. I didn't find anything. The couple of things that did exist for network marketing, they were based on this 1950s sales approach. You guys know what I'm talking about. The whole go for no, get a list and blast them with cold messages. Check this out, check this out, check this out. And it's like, everybody hates hearing from you. And your friends start ignoring you, all that stuff. I was like, who does this? People still teach this. I couldn't believe it. I needed something that helped people build relationships, that would help me build relationships. So anyways, long story short, I built Teamzy because I couldn't believe there were no tools, relational tools in our industry. I found some people smarter than me, and I took them to lunch, took them to pizza, and said, what do you guys think? Bunch of engineers. I said, do you guys think you could build something like this for me? And they said yes, and we launched Teamzy. So little over 5 years ago, we launched Teamzy. Completely built it by meeting guys at the libraries for lunch, that kind of thing. And then when we launched it, I sent a text message to 21 people I knew who were in the business, said, check this out. Next thing I know, Teamzy's growing like crazy. Here's just to kind of give you an idea of what's happened. In the last 5 years, we've had more than 150,000 network marketers use Teamzy. And we were excited over the last year to really get going with the Xyngular family. Our active Xyngular users are getting ridiculous results, averaging 36 new customers and 14 new recruits over 90 days. Those numbers are huge, huge. You guys remember how many of you guys were in the business first quarter last year? Do you guys remember how crazy it was for Xyngular? Yeah, remember there was no product in the warehouse, all that. So I'll take a little bit of responsibility for that, because I know when people started ramping up with Teamzy and the numbers started getting crazy, it did cause some challenges for corporate, but those are good challenges. I have to tell you guys, because I had some people message me that were really frustrated. And I said, the best place to be is in a company that's running out of product because you're selling it too fast. Right? To be able to tell your customers, like, I really want to get you into this product, but you're going to maybe have to wait because the demand is too intense right now. It's a good thing. It's a good thing. It creates a value for it. So don't worry about that kind of stuff, you guys. But we're excited about these results. Okay, let's keep going here. So let's get into this presentation. What is relationship marketing? Have you guys heard this term before? When I started teaching this 5 years ago to people in network marketing, nobody had heard of it. Now it seems like it's a buzzword. People are kind of figuring out the idea of relationships. But a couple of things that this is not is it's not selling stuff to your friends. People think, oh, that's what it is. It's just selling stuff to my friends. I want you guys to understand that relationship marketing is a philosophy of doing business that puts relationships and people ahead of sales and products. It puts relationships and people ahead of sales and products. One of the reasons our industry has a bad reputation is because people feel like, hey, I've been your friend your whole life, and now you want to make a sale off me, right? Nope, we're going to put the people and relationships ahead of the products. And this is not some abstract feel-good concept. It's a proven system that we follow, always knowing what to do next. Always knowing what to do next. Amy's going, yeah, it keeps me organized, see? All right, next. The other piece to this is that it's a lead generation system. Relationship marketing is a lead generation system. That's a system that initiates consumer interest or inquiry into the products or services of a business. I know it's a mouthful. Here's what I want you guys to get from this. You are not salespeople for Xyngular. I mean, we're all salespeople to some extent, but you're business owners. And the business owner's job is to generate leads. You're in the lead generation business. You're in the lead generation business. What do I mean? Again, the definition is right there. Our job is to initiate interest and inquiry. Okay, we're going to generate interest and inquiry. And I'll go a little bit more in depth in that in a second. Here's an important principle. Developing and deepening relationships is your paramount duty as a business owner. Developing and deepening relationships is your paramount duty as a business owner. It's not just a nice thing to do, it's your duty. And if you guys see it that way, you're going to really love doing this. So we generate leads. We're in the lead generation business so that we can sell them a bunch of stuff? No, so that we can build a relationship with them. The concept here, guys, I'm going to simplify it down to its essence. We want to meet people and build relationships with them. But we do it on purpose, systematically, intentionally. Make sense? And if you're focused on meeting people and building relationships or deepening your existing relationships, you're going to do great in this business. Because what we do with relationships is we turn them into advocates. We turn relationships into advocates by investing time and providing outstanding service. The key to this business, you guys, is not ranking up. It's not making a bunch of sales or signing people up. It's creating advocates. If your focus is just on selling, you will have to continually focus on that every moment of every day forever. And that's when you come to me after 5 years and go, I'm so burnt out, Eric, show me a better way. I get those people in my boot camps all the time. What I want you guys to know is an advocate is somebody who's so excited about your mission and about what you're doing that they feel compelled to bring people to your business. They feel compelled to tell their friends about you, right? Imagine if everybody you knew when they thought about losing a few pounds said, oh my gosh, you need to lose a few pounds? You need to talk to my friend Dawn. She's an expert. She's amazing. She does this for a living. Does this make sense? We create advocates. You guys, I can't even stress it enough. Okay, I'm going to give you guys a little bit more info on how to do that in a minute. Next principle. Relationship marketing depends on trust. Relationship marketing depends on trust. In other words, if you're a jerk, this ain't going to work. Okay? I know. I use the same lines, but I love that one. If you're a jerk, this ain't going to work. Have you guys ever come across somebody in this business that's a jerk? Slightly, maybe just a little bit. And what do I mean by jerk? I mean, they're self-interested. They're self-centered. They're looking to score something for themselves, right? And this business has been built, honestly, since the 50s on the whole bait and switch model. Hey, Amy, I'd love to catch up. It's been forever. Let's get a cup of coffee. And then you show up with a 3-ring binder with the business plan, right? It's like, hey, I thought we were catching up with coffee. We are, but I need to show you an opportunity. You can't pass this up. And so there's been a lot of distrust. This system depends on trust, which how many of you guys are excited to know that you don't have to do anything disingenuous ever to build a huge business? Yeah, so that's what I'm going to show you guys tonight. But here's the good news. Trust makes the work fun. You don't have to convince people. You don't have to sell people when they trust you. You can get right to helping them, which is why we're here. Trust removes the ickiness from the sales process. Is anybody as concerned as me as coming across as an icky salesperson? That's me. I never want to be seen as an icky salesperson. Trust takes that away. If there's trust, you don't have to worry about that. And you get to go for yes. In other words, none of this going for no, dealing with racking up thousands of rejections. How many of you have heard from somebody, you just got to deal with the rejection and move through it? Yeah. You don't need to get rejection. I mean, every once in a while, someone's a jerk or they've got some woundedness that doesn't have anything to do with you and they lash out. But generally, you're not going to get rejected working by relationship. Okay. People are excited to talk to you. So how do you build trust? I'm just going to teach you some basics on how to build trust really quick, and then we'll jump into Teamzy. I'll show you how to do a power hour. There are 4 essential ingredients to building trust. Okay, 4 essential ingredients to building trust. They are chemistry, character, competence, and consistency. Chemistry, character, competence, consistency. Okay, let me break them out for you guys. Chemistry is where you have common ground with someone. What is it about you they can relate to? Okay, chemistry is where you have common ground with someone. What is it about you they can relate to? It's about building rapport. It's about creating, that warm feeling, that connection. Here's the deal, you guys. People want to do business with a friend. People want to do business with a friend. Look, if you were going to go buy a car, would you be excited if you had a friend who sells cars? First person you'd call, right? If you wanted to go out to eat with your family and you had a friend who owned a restaurant, right? This is the way we're wired. We want to do business with friends. There are a lot of people that are Xyngular distributors. I don't even know what the current number is. It's a lot. Why would they, why choose you? Because you're their friend. Does this make sense? So when you're talking to relationships that maybe you're not close to, the first thing we want to do is build chemistry. What do we have in common with somebody? Ask some questions. Just get to know them a little bit. It looks like, do we have mostly women on this call? I don't know why. I feel like, I guess it's true for everybody. My wife amazes me how she can quickly build chemistry with anyone, anywhere. I mean, we can just be in line and she can look at somebody and go, your shoes are adorable. And the next thing I know, they're best buddies. I'm like, how did you do that? Right? See 2 guys do that. Dude, I like your shoes. Thanks. That'd be the end of the conversation, right? All right. Or the guy would just go, I'm going to just go over here now. You're making me uncomfortable. All right, just kidding. Okay, but you get the idea. They want to do business with a friend, and nobody wants to do business with someone they don't like, right? The only exceptions we make would be, attorneys when we're in trouble and brain surgeons. In that case, we don't care about their personalities, but other than that, we want to like people. Number 2 is character. Characters when you demonstrate how much you care and that you're relatable. Characters when you demonstrate how much you care and that you're relatable. Now, I want you to notice something about my definition of character. It's not something you have. It's something you do. Character is not something you have. It's something you do. Does it make sense? So we think of character as the sum. I look at everything I've done in my life. I did more good than bad. I have good character. No, character is what you're doing right now. How are you showing somebody that you care for them? And this is probably the most important part of your brand, because the brand is you, is your character. Character is not just how I follow up and connect with customers and serve them. It's also how I show up in life, how I treat people, how I treat people, that are serving me out in the world, how I drive my car and treat other people in traffic. Do I return the shopping cart in Target parking lot? All of these little things add up, right? And they show people your character. Does it make sense? And it's important because we have to be intentional about it. We have to say, you know what, I have a heart for others. I have a heart to serve, and I need to show up that way 24/7 so that people can see my character. Does it make sense? It's so funny. A good friend of mine, somebody that I've been working with as a consultant now for 5 years, she's launching a new business venture. And a lot of the people who are lining up to be her customers are business acquaintances, friends that she's known for years. And I said, you're going to really see the true character of some of these people that have been your friends for a long time when you see how they treat your staff. Right? And I see this all the time where people will treat my staff poorly and say, I'm friends with Eric, and they'll treat my staff poorly. I'm like, wow, I was really misjudged that person's character. Does this make sense, you guys, though? It's how we show up. How do you post on social media? Are you posting on social media things that will serve your followers and audience? Are you demonstrating care for them? Make sense? Okay, so next is competence. Competence is when you demonstrate you're good at what you do and you're a business person. Okay, competence is when you demonstrate you're good at what you do and you're a business person. The first piece is simply like this. Can you help me? Do you know how to help me? Are you competent enough? If I come to you with a problem, I'll give you an example. A good friend of mine, several years ago, young person, she's 45 years old, goes to the doctor. She's a little bit overweight. Goes to the doctor. Doctor says, your blood pressure is off the charts. You are going to have a stroke or a heart attack before you're 50. Can you help me? Are you competent? Right? Does this make sense? That's a true story. You guys probably have true stories like that too. This person comes to me. What can I do? I heard that you help people with fitness. I heard that you help people lose weight. Can you help me with this? And so this is the first piece of competence, is knowing your product, knowing how your products work, knowing, if you're new, knowing another 100 stories of people who've used the products and the results they've received, so that you can share stories, right? Because obviously you can't make claims, but you can share stories and testimonials. Digging in and learning so that you can show up competently to help people, so you can become a trusted advisor. Does this make sense? People were not coming to me for weight loss advice when I was overweight, smoking cigarettes, eating unhealthy. This is me. But as I started building my competence and changing my own lifestyle and changing my own habits and learning and sharing with people, sharing on social media, I learned this. Did you guys know this? This is so interesting. Did you know this? You need this much water. You need to eat this much. This is why green vegetables, this is why your mom wanted you to eat your vegetables. Like sharing things like that, showing people competence so that you can become the trusted advisor. Does this make sense? I'm not going to buy Xyngular from you if you can't help me with my problem. Okay. The second piece is, why should I join your team? Why should I join your team? Can you show me how to be successful in this business? Do I believe that you're a competent business person? Maybe I'm your cousin. I've seen you with your pants on backwards a couple of times. How do I know now that suddenly you've become this business tycoon? So again, competence is about demonstrating. Now, when you're new, you may not have a lot of competence yet. You can't like say, well, I'm an expert on this, or I know what it's like to build a 6-figure business, because you haven't done it yet. But what you can demonstrate is your journey. You can show what you're learning. You can show, like Amy was just talking about the bonuses you guys have available this month. Like hitting a bonus, making a $300 bonus. That shows competence. Look, I signed up. I'm new. I hit a bonus my first month. How cool is it? Wow, that's great. Does this make sense? And then the rest of it is leaning into your team's competence, telling people stories about your upline and your sidelines. And oh my gosh, my friend Teresa has the most amazing story. I got to tell you what happened for her. Or, does this make sense? So don't make it up. Just lean into your team stories when you're new, but you need to start demonstrating competence, whether it's your own or that you're part of a winning team. That's what matters. And when you're new, you can say, hey, look, you come along with me. We're going to be mentored together by the best. Let me tell you about who's going to be helping us. Does it make sense? Our team is so on top of it. We even use this special tool called Teamzy. It's like gasoline on the fire of business. I'm telling you right now. It's all good. I had to throw that one in there, but it's true, right? Here you go. Okay, so competence is super important. So chemistry, character, and competence. Now, real quick behind this, there's a principle behind this. Before we jump to the fourth one, which is consistency, and I want you guys to get this. If someone's going to do business with you, they only care about 3 things. Can I trust you? Do you care about me? Are you good at what you do? Can I trust you? Do you care about me? Are you good at what you do? Now, they may not ask these questions out loud, but they're feeling them in their heart, if that makes sense. These are gut responses. If somebody says yes, if they feel yes for you with all 3 of these, you've got an advocate. If they feel any one of these is a no, it's a no-go. They're not going to do business with you. And they're likely to tell others not to as well. If they're not sure, they'll raise objections. Objections are a good thing. Don't be afraid of objections. Objections just means they don't know yet. Can they trust you? They don't know yet if you care about them or if you're good at what you do. They're going to raise objections. Objections are just their way of asking you to prove, yeah, you can trust me and I do care about you and I am good at what I do. Make sense? Okay. Let's talk about number 4, consistency. This is where the rubber hits the road. It's super important to be consistent. You cannot earn trust unless you do something consistently, right? I had a consulting client ask me to look at a new website the other day, and on her page, they had things like, you can trust us. I'm like, nobody cares if you say, trust me, right? I was like, take that off. Take off the you can trust us thing. Why? I go, because anybody that says trust me is usually untrustworthy. I'm going to show you through my service that you can. Does this make sense? Consistency is how we earn trust. It's like, don't tell me you're going to do it. Show me you're going to do it. Everything we need to do. How many of you guys are consistent product to your product? You got to be that, right? Let's see. Anyone consistent about sharing on social media? Pretty often anyways. Time to time. Okay. These are important. Consistency is important, right? And then after tonight, you're all going to be consistent about connecting with people because you're going to have Teamzy. But here's an important principle I love. People respect consistency and desire it for themselves. People respect consistency and desire it for themselves. It's the number one way to build trust, and it draws people to you. It actually builds your team. People want to be around other people who are consistent. Amy, how long ago was it that you did my boot camp? Was it a year ago? You're muted. I don't know. She's still muted.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, there.
Say that again, Eric.
How long ago was it that you did my boot camp?
We did it. We started. I want to say we did it. We started in April, and then it lasted through till June.
So a year ago.
Yeah, and when I need to do it again, to be honest with you, because we were consistent about doing the videos, and Sherry Gibson, who is a sideline from Xyngular, I still connect with her today. And I
Yeah.
will honestly say, you guys, I'm going to do a plug for Teamzy. I stopped using Teamzy because I got overwhelmed with Ship Happens, and my brain felt like it was going to explode. So August, I had so much coming in with online school and all this stuff, and Ship Happens, and so I stopped consistently connecting with Sherry, and I apologized to her, and I had to do my steps to get my crap organized. When I am doing Teamzy and connecting with Sherry every single friggin' night or 5 nights a week, I've kind of come down from the 7, Eric. Then my business grows.
Yeah.
Seriously, there are distributors I forget about that are not active that I need to reach out to. And if I don't reach out to them, they're not going to get reached out to. There's, customers I forget about. I don't have everything up here. Right. So I don't know how, if somebody else has another follow-up system, I can't figure it out, guys. And I was the person that created lesson plans for Xyngular before Teamzy. And when I heard about this, I was all for it. But I will tell you that there was a time that I screwed up and I wasn't doing it consistent. And my business failed. And my inception volume, the month of August, was crap. And it's since started to pick up because I have and plus I don't feel like I'm going to jump through a second story window because everything's unorganized.
Yeah. So what you did was you stopped being consistent.
Yeah, I went through a valley.
Yeah. Look, that's my point. That's the screen, right? She stopped being consistent and she saw a dip. But here's the other thing that's really cool about this. And the reason I asked her that question is because a year later, she's still connecting with Sherry, who was her success partner through our boot camp. Why is it that they're still connecting? It's this principle. They like to be around each other because they're being consistent. They help each other be consistent. Does this make sense? So consistency helps you build trust. It also builds your team and it knits together relationships on the team. Make sense? So people will want to be around it. People will want to join you when they see you changing, becoming a consistent type person, if that makes sense. Okay, let's keep driving forward. The big question here is, are you consistent with relationships? Being consistent product to product is important. Being consistent on social media is important. But are you consistent with connecting with people? And this is exactly what Amy just shared. She went through a period where she wasn't, and she saw a difference in her business. The key to this business is being in consistent contact with people. Make sense? Now, you have to understand that relationship building is a contact sport. And if you want relationships, you have to be in regular contact. Okay, so that's what Teamzy is going to help you do. It's going to help you do it in a short amount of time so that you can get on with your life, but you can come across mega organized. Here's an important principle. I just want to talk about this real quick, and then we're going to take a quick look at Teamzy. Investing time and connecting with people is the only way to deepen relationships. Okay. And I can even add a word to this and say investing time and connecting personally with people is the only way to deepen relationships. In fact, that's the way it should be written. I just assumed it would read that way. Investing time and connecting personally with people is the only way to deepen relationships. Now, just really quick, and how many of you guys were on the call? Were any of you guys on the call last year when I taught this? Okay, great. So you're like a fresh audience. Just really quick, if you guys are somewhere and you're dressed, turn your cameras on for a quick second. So I just want to ask you, I have to do that "are you dressed" thing because you'd be amazed when you do a lot of these, what happens. I know everybody's used to Zoom now. How many of you guys have ever received a really great card or letter from somebody that you love that had the handwritten message in it? You know what I mean? Like and it just, when you read it, it was just like, oh, you got me right here. Right. Let me see the sensitive people. Do we have any sensitive people? Like, that's me. My wife's like, whatever. But I love the cards. Okay. So you thought of at least one card. Do you still have it? Did you save it? How many of you saved it? It's stashed away somewhere. Yeah. Okay. Let me see who's got a stack of cards or a box or a drawer full of cards somewhere in the house. Ones you haven't been able to get. Yeah. We all do this. You guys, I have taught this class in teams in Singapore and Asia and Europe and you name it. And all human beings are the same. There's something about getting a handwritten sentiment from someone you care about. You just can't get rid of it. In fact, after we pass on, often our families would keep cards and letters and treasure them above any actual physical heirlooms, right? Maybe some of you guys even maybe have something like that. It's amazing. So here's another example of a type of message. This is a happy birthday postcard. You ever get one of these? This one's from my life insurance sales representative. And that's the person that you hope your family never has to talk to, right? Your life insurance sales representative. So he sends me this little happy birthday postcard. Now, when you get these from the dentist or whoever sends them to you, how many of you guys have kept this? Do you keep this in the special place, or is this gets immediately filed away, right? The round filing cabinet or whatever you want to call it. This, we don't keep this. It does not have the same value. Is it nice to get this? Kind of, I guess. Maybe. It doesn't have value. Now, let's go back to the principle that I'm trying to hammer home with you guys. The only way to connect with people is to invest time and connect personally with them. Now, does this require an investment of time? No, it's an automatic system that he pays for, right? So he invested no time in it, which is why we put no value on it. And it's not personal, it's bulk. It's a bulk mail out. It doesn't even have my name on it, actually. It just says happy birthday to you. So everybody in that month got it, right? It's not personal and it has no time invested. We don't put any value on it. We throw it away. When you're building your business, there's going to be a lot of shiny objects out there. You should do this. You should buy this program. You should do this. Any marketing system that doesn't require an investment of time and a personal connection is not going to be effective in our business. Does it make sense? Now, do you need to write beautiful cards all day long to everybody, telling them how much you love them to build this? No, but if you can think of a reason to do that for anybody, definitely do it. They'll keep those cards, right? You can still log in Teamzy as a personal note. But the point is investing a little bit of time and making a personal connection. Now, Teamzy is designed to help you do this in a matter of seconds, but to have the impact that you spent minutes. Does this make sense? So that we can impact people. We can make their day. And I'm going to show you as we get into Teamzy about the make someone's day mindset, which is the basis of a power hour. It's about making people's day, not about making sales. The more people's day we make, not only does it feel amazing for us and them, but it creates opportunities to have conversations. And that's where the business grows. Does this make sense? Okay, so let's dive in here real quick. I think I've got one more thing. I know you guys are sleepy. Let's get this finished up. I promise I won't put you to sleep. So this is all well and good, but you got to have a system to it. It's not just about philosophy and concepts and loving on people and having integrity. It's about having a system, right? A way to stay in contact with all of your relationships, know when you're going to contact people, know what you're going to say to people, and make sure that nobody falls through the cracks. The biggest problem we have is that people don't know who to talk to today. They don't know what the heck to say, and everybody falls through the cracks, right? Okay, so let's dive out of this real quick and go to Teamzy. So I've got Teamzy up now. If you guys go to teamzy.com teamzy.com/Xyngular, you'll see that you can start a free trial, and we have a special arrangement with Xyngular Corporate for you to get a discounted rate off Teamzy, which is pretty cool. We'll talk about that at the end. But once you sign up for a free trial, you get full access to Teamzy in your free trial. First thing you'll see is this page, which is this beginning of the setup wizard. This is to help people who are not real techie like me to set this thing up. Okay. So there's a little video from me, which we'll skip. I should probably check that video. Might need an update. We'll see. You can also sign up to hear from us via Messenger a little bit, which is great because we know you don't read your emails.
Can I share something, Eric?
Yeah.
Okay, I just want you guys to know what an idiot I am. I did every single video. I went through every single prompt, and I still did 3 Zooms with Brian, with the Teamzy experts. Jay was the one that connected with us, Eric, and she was awesome. And I want you to know, and I'm not afraid to say this, that if I come to a glitch in Teamzy, I am clicking that help desk or the help button, and I'm asking my question and I'm getting an answer. And it's usually 99.9% of the time my fault because I didn't know what I was doing. But I literally asked the questions if I didn't know what I was doing. And Eric's had to help answer a lot of questions, stupid questions that I should have known. But there was no stupid questions.
No, absolutely. We want you to get help. You know, we want you to get help. And we have, when we get into Teamzy on the next couple screens, you'll see the purple help button that's on every page. If you click it, it sends a message to our team gets it and they'll respond, which is great. Okay, so here on this page in the setup wizard, we're going to set an income goal. So how much do you want to be making in your business? What's your goal, right? What's your goal? And what I want you to do is look 12 months into the future. So today it is April 7th, 2021. How much would you like your annual income level to be April 7th, 2022? And you can slide this to whatever you think that should be. So let's say I want to do $150,000 a year, which was my goal. Because I was trying to retire from a salary I had to work day and night on. That's what I earned. So I wanted to change that. Look, so at that number, it tells me what to do each day. I need to connect with 9 prospects, 6 customers, and 4 distributors on my team each day. Okay. So 19, what is that? 19 connects. I think it's like about 4,400 people a year that I need to connect with. But when I break it down to a day, it's just 19 people a day. Okay. Does it make sense? Okay. So I'm going to hit continue. And then the next thing we'll do is get all your contacts into Teamzy. So no more notepads, no more sticky notes or whatever you guys are using, digging through your phone, trying to find contact info, trying to collect business cards, all that kind of weird stuff. You don't have to do any of that. Everybody's in Teamzy. You can get your Facebook friends in here, your Instagram followers in here, your LinkedIn. Everybody's in Teamzy, one place. It lives in the cloud, which means it's always in your phone. How many of you guys are within 5 feet of your smartphone right now? How often do you realize your phone is not in the same room with you, and it's like, oh my gosh, I have to find my phone? Isn't it funny? So Teamzy will always be within 5 feet of you. I just want you guys to know. You don't have to write anyone's stuff down on a napkin anymore, because when you meet them, you can pull out your phone and put them in Teamzy. Tell them, hey, I'm going to put you in my contact manager so we can stay in touch. So you come off very professional. Does this make sense? All right. So once you get everybody in there, it's ready to go. We'll launch our Teamzy account. And so here we go. This is a customized version for Xyngular. Okay. It's pretty cool. And this is what the dashboard looks like. Now, Teamzy is also fully mobile, which means if you come in here, you can use it on your phone as well. And I'm demoing it from my desktop. I have big fingers, so I like to do my work at the computer. That's just me. I will use my phone in a pinch. However, I think we found that about 80% of our users use it on their phones. So it's just wherever you guys are comfortable. All right, so here's my dashboard. Now you can see this section, today's activities. This tells me what I need to do today. Okay, I set the goal for the year, but Teamzy tells me what I need to do today. This is an important concept. If you want a business that's big, how many of you want a business that's big? Good. If you want a business that's big, your focus has to be small. If you want your business to be big, your focus has to be small. It has to be focused on today. Make sense? Today, I'm going to reach out to 9 prospects, 6 customers, and 4 distributors. I'm going to show you how to do that in a second. I'm going to reach out to them to make their day. That's my goal, to make their day. Okay? And then my goal above and beyond that 19 people I'm going to reach out to is I'm hoping that I'll create enough conversations. I'll be able to share 3 times. And what is a share? People always get confused on this. A share is when I share the business opportunity or a product solution for somebody. Right? Simple. Okay. And then I also want to add people to Teamzy. That's just meeting new people, adding people. Maybe I'm making friends on Facebook or out in the world. It's like, oh my gosh, I'm going to put them in my Teamzy account so I can stay in touch with them. Make sense? So those are the activities I want to do each day, is reach out to people, share, and add people. Now, if you come down here to the Power Hour section, now, let me just kind of explain one thing about Teamzy. Teamzy is a CRM. I don't know if you know what that means. That means contact relationship management. Teamzy basically keeps all the contact info of everyone you know, right? And so you can put them in here, and you can take notes, and you can log you can track all your conversations with them. You have records of everything that you're doing. But what it does, and there's lots of systems that do that. They're like a electronic filing cabinet. But what Teamzy does that's different is it creates this Power Hour for you. So it's like having that filing cabinet and an assistant that says, welcome to business today, Dawn. Here are the 20 people you need to reach out to in order. And here's what you're going to say to each one. Wouldn't that be cool? Now, in my 20 years as a consultant, I can't tell you how many people I have advised to hire a full-time assistant. And when we sat down to build Teamzy, I said, this is going to do it for them. They won't need that person. They won't need to spend 50 grand a year on an assistant. Now, I want you guys just to know my mantra has always been to tell people, if you don't hire an assistant, you are the assistant, right? For business owners. So now you guys, right now, those of you guys who aren't using Teamzy, you are not the business owner as much as the assistant. So this is going to help you, right? Does this make sense? So what this Power Hour module does is it takes all that data that's in Teamzy and it serves me just what I need right now. So I've got 4 lists: prospects, customers, distributors, and my follow-ups list. And I'll show you that in a second. Each list only shows me 5 names at a time. That's so I don't get overwhelmed and so I can stay focused, right? And so on the left side, it tells me who to connect with. On the right side is where I'm going to log the message I send so it's tracked as I go. So let me just demonstrate this for you. So right here, I've got Amy. She's the first person up. I'm going to send her a message. Okay. Now, this is where I used to get stuck. What am I going to say? How do I start a conversation with Amy? Maybe I should spend 6 hours reading her Facebook profile. How many of you guys do this kind of stuff? Start second guessing, start getting stuck in analysis paralysis. I don't want to come across cheesy. How do I avoid this? Okay, so look, we got the feedback the first couple of years we had Teamzy out. People were like, Eric, every time you do a training, you make it sound so natural, but I can't talk like that. So I took all my scripts and I put them in Teamzy for you. Okay. The number one thing I hear from people is the scripts work. Yeah, the scripts work. I've been teaching this for 20 years, you guys. You don't think we refine things as we go? So look, let me just explain these to you. These are not the cheesy scripts you learn at the Go for No GoPro conferences and stuff like that. These are just to make people's day. So let me just show you what we do. I'm going to go message Amy. I'll click on scripts right here. You see that? And that brings up all different types of scripts. We're Facebook buddies, so I'm going to message her on Facebook. So I'll click on Facebook. And I've got a bunch of things I can choose from. I'm just going to take the one off the top of the list. Here's how it reads if you can't see this on your screen. It says, hi, Jane, just stopping by to say hello. How are you? Hope your day's awesome. So simple, right? And it's designed to start a conversation, get a response. So I'm going to click on copy script, okay? And I'm just going to paste it in there because I want to do some editing before I actually send it. So obviously her name is not Jane, okay? And maybe some emojis. I love emojis. How many of you guys love emojis in your messages? I like to do an emoji because it lets them know this is just light. I'm not trying to do something weird, right? I'm just trying to keep it light. Okay, so look, I've got this message now set up the way I want it. I'm going to copy it and paste it into Facebook so I can actually send this to her. So look, we'll just look her up. There she is. Paste that in there and send. Okay. Got it? Simple, easy. Don't overthink it. And this is the point where people, you hover over that send button like, ooh, just send it. Okay, just send it. Trust me, they work great. Okay. You're going to get a great response rate with these messages. Now, you put down what kind of message it was. In this case, it was Facebook message, and then hit log connect. Super simple. So now look at this. I've got 1 done, 8 left.
Can I share something, Eric, real quick?
Yeah.
Okay, so I will tell you, we had gone through we had really built really fast, and it was probably in February, March, and we were kind of not building real great. And Brian just started using that message that Eric just showed you in like a lot of dead chats. And he brought up like a ton of them. I'm like, oh my God, that's amazing. So I started doing it. I use that message so many times that it's not a text replacement. I just message it because Brian and I have done that message so many times, and it brings up dead chats. People will re-engage, and it's you don't feel spammy. And a lot of times they'll sit there and we plant more seeds and we don't even talk about the products for a while, but Brian will finally get in there and talk about the products, and then I'll finally get in there and talk about the products. So that some of those scripts, I'm building the relationship. When people say no or people say not right now, these are the scripts that have helped Brian and I bring up those dead chats.
Yeah, for sure. And the thing is that once you've done like 3 or 4 power hours, like I have an iPhone. How many of you guys have an iPhone? Your phone you don't need to copy and paste, because when you just say, hi, Amy, your phone will start adding my scripts auto, right? Yeah, it'll just automatically be like, hey, just stopping by to say hello. How are you? Hope your day is awesome. And then it'll ask you if you want the emojis. Like if you've done it enough times, it'll just start. I just look at my phone and like on the text and next word. And it does like, it just, you know how it autofills things that you say all the time. So anyways, it's kind of funny how that works. Okay. So what we're going to do with Jay, she's the next person on my list. We'll do the same thing. Look, and I've still got that script on my clipboard. So I'm just going to paste it in without even redoing it. And now I'm going to change the name to Jay. I've already got my emojis, so it's even faster. You guys see what I'm doing here? So I'm going to toggle over here to Jay. We're going to look her up. This is the same Jay that Amy was just raving about that works for Teamzy, who's amazing. And we're going to paste that in there and send it. Boom. Great. And then we come back over to Teamzy. We log it. And we go on to the next one. This, honestly, you guys, 20 connects, which is my goal for 150,000 a year. Once you've done Teamzy for a little while, you can send those that many messages in 15 minutes. Okay, if you're not overthinking it. Now, people will start responding, and those conversations will take more time, but the actual getting them out, super fast and efficient. Okay, so I'm just going to bang through that, and I'm going to keep going down my prospect list until this blue circle is done. That's my visual cue that I hit my goal for the day. And when Amy was talking about what she texts over to Sherry, they're sending each other a picture of their circles filled in. Does that make sense? They're holding each other accountable, saying, I did it. The circles are the visual cue that they did their goals for the day. So when that circle's blue, I'll go to the next list, which is customers. Now, a customer is anyone current or past. Okay. If they ordered from you 10 years ago, keep staying in touch with them. You guys, I cannot emphasize this enough. Treat them as a customer for life. A canceled customer trusts you 1,000 times more than a new prospect. Why do I say that? Because they've already bought something from you. Does this make sense? They don't cancel because they're not your customer anymore. They cancel because they went on vacation and now they have too much product. Does it make sense? So that's all. It's that kind of stuff. So stay in touch with people. And what we do with customers is we just stay in touch with them. Now, look, you don't need to be putting your customers on the follow-ups list. You just let them, I mean, unless they're brand new, right? If they're brand new, you might want to follow up a few times and schedule a few. We'll talk about the follow-ups list in a minute, but just let them flow through here. Now, Teamzy is going to flow the list through automatically. I didn't mention this before, but it's based on the star ranking. You give them a star ranking, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 stars. Okay. And then each star ranking has a different cadence. So 5-star people show up on the list every 30 days. 4-star people show up on the list every 60 days. 3-star people show up on the list every 90 days. Does this make sense? So that because you're going to be talking to people you're closer to more often. If I barely know you and you message me every week, it's going to be really weird, right? But if I barely know you and you message me every 90 days, just a hello, over time, we're going to start having real conversations. Are you guys with me? So that's why we do that. Now, here's what I want you guys to understand. Just reaching out to make customers' days. You don't have to try to sell them or, oh, we're having a special. I mean, you can do that kind of thing, but I just want you to know, just reaching out to make their day is all you need to do. Statistically, if you stay in contact with customers, they order more product and they retain longer. So let me just give you an idea of some of these really simple scripts. So for customers, things like, Jane, you're doing so great. I'm proud of you. Congratulations on. Do you have a reason to congratulate your customers sometimes? Is it like, imagine you have a customer who loses 10 pounds. Congratulating her on her 10-pound loss is better than any sales script you can ever send. Does this make sense? Because she's excited. You're her coach. This is right. This is exciting. This is just a super simple one for customers too. Hi, John. How are you enjoying the product? So what are they using? Ask them how they're enjoying it. Send me an update. Let me know if I can be of help. Okay. You can reconnect with people, even if it's been a long time, or you can just send this one, my favorite one. Hi, Jane, just checking in to see if there's anything I can do to make your day. So look, you got these scripts. Again, you just copy them. It looks like Amy's coming back in over there. Great. You copy them in, get ready to send it, right? You log it, and there you go. And you're going to work down your customer list now the same way, just staying in touch, So my goal is 6 customers. So I'm just going to message the next 6 customers. Okay. And then I come to my team. And I want to stay in touch with my team intentionally, reaching out, connecting. How's it going? It's been a while since, hey, I haven't seen you on the team Zooms. You missed that amazing training with the Teamzy guy. How's everything going? Thinking about you, right? Just little messages to your team. There's so many trainers that will teach you how to recruit, that will teach you how to get customers. But I don't know why there's not more training on how to keep the distributors you've already signed up. The churn is brutal in our business. The average is 50% a year quit. The number one way to retain good people on your team is just to be in touch with them, have a relationship with them. People are not money motivated, even though everyone wants you to think that. People are relationship motivated. They want to feel connection. So it's important. That's why we named this product Teamzy and not salesy, leadsy, cheesy. It's Teamzy. Because we say if you build your team, then you can build a business that builds your life. Make sense? Teams first. So the three groups we're going to message: prospects, customers, distributors. Okay. That's the first half of the power hour. In this case, it was 19 messages. Use the scripts, fire them off. Let's say it takes you 30 minutes. Okay. So what do you do for the rest of your power hour? Well, the next thing we're going to do is work our follow-ups list. So I'm going to go over to my follow-ups list. Now, I don't really want to put people on my follow-ups list typically unless I have done a share, right? I'm just going to stay in touch with you as a prospect, a customer, or a member on my team. But now if I've done a share with you, now I want you on my follow-ups list. So if we've had a Zoom and I've gone through some of the products with you, or I've talked to you about the business opportunity and you've shown some interest, now I'm going to put you on that follow-ups list because I need to follow up like a pro. Now let me just kind of paint the picture for you guys really quick. I messaged Amy, said hi. She messaged back, "Oh my gosh, great to hear from you." Right? Now it's my chance to engage her in conversation. And so I want you guys to treat these conversations as if you were face to face. You ran into somebody in the store. Remember when we used to do that? Run into people? So you run into them and what do? Do you run into somebody in the store and be like, "Hey, great to see you." And then all of a sudden you're like, "Hey, while you're here, let me just tell you about this great opportunity here in the line at Costco." Of course not. You have a conversation. "Oh my gosh, what have you been up to? It's been forever. Tell me what's going on with you guys. What are the kids doing? What are they into?" Oh, you're having a conversation. Just have normal conversations with people. Does this make sense? Ask questions, be interested in what's going on in their life. Ask them for their update. Like, update me on what you've been doing since we last spoke. Okay. And if you tell people like, send me an update, tell me what you've been doing, they will. It actually makes it really easy for them. It's like, instead of asking awkward, open-ended questions, which people always train you to do. Have you ever felt weird doing that? Yeah. So just, "Hey, what have you been up to? Tell me what you're doing. Did you have a good Easter? What'd you guys do?" Right? It's natural. So then they give you an update. They tell you what's going on in their life. Ask questions. Be interested. Now, what would be the normal thing for you to do if you were at line and ran into somebody in line at Costco and they just told you about everything that's going on in their life? What would you do next? You would tell them what's going on in your life, wouldn't you? "Oh, well, here's what we've been up to. We're doing this. We're doing that." Okay. And, oh, did I also mention that I started my home-based business? I started a home-based business. It's been amazing. "Oh, really? What kind of business is it? Have you ever heard of Xyngular?" "Oh, yeah, I've heard of that." "Yeah, it's been really cool. I found the products that really changed my life. I lost 60 pounds. It's been an incredible journey for me. And now I'm just really enjoying paying it forward and helping other people." "Wow, that's great, Eric." How many of you are like, "I want to rewind that piece"? I need to rewind that piece. Telling somebody about your business is not a big deal. You don't need to live in fear of it. It's not a big deal. It's part of the conversation. If you got a new car, would you tell them, "I just got a new car. I'm so excited"? "Yeah. I started a new business. I'm excited." So just tell them what you're doing and why. So here's the key to this real quick. I know I hit my time mark here. We'll go to Q&A in a second. The key is to tell them what you do and why you're passionate about it. Tell them what you do and why you're passionate about it. Okay. Because if you tell somebody what you do and why you're passionate about it, and that's how you present the business to them, they're almost always going to respond with, "Oh, good for you. That's great." Does this make sense? Because you haven't painted a target on their back. You're just telling them what you're into. And I'm going to give you a little secret phrase to use after you've had this conversation. When they're like, "Oh, that's great, Eric. Good for you." Say, "Yeah, it's been amazing. And, if you ever want to learn more about it, let me know. I'd be happy to get you more info." Could you guys do that? Simple. "Yeah, let me know if you'd like more info. Be happy to get for you." Okay. Some people might say, okay, yeah, I'll let you know. No worries. Because you can't expect every conversation for them to go, I can't wait for you to present this business opportunity. Please do it right now, right? You're sowing seeds in this relationship in a natural way. They're getting it that you're passionate about helping people. You're not withholding that help, right? It's your blessing. You can't withhold blessing. You guys with me? This is an important thing. For those of you, how many of you guys are a little nervous sometimes about presenting the business or the products with people? Okay, so understand that you're withholding blessing. Okay, it's an important concept. You're not trying to get something from them, you're trying to bless them with something. So you got to mention it. Hey, I help people this way. If you'd ever like to learn more about it, please let me know. I'd be happy to get you more info. In other words, I'm not pushing this on you, but I'm opening my arms to you and let you know I'm here to help if you want it, because you cannot solve a problem they haven't identified. Does this make sense? They have to first identify the problem and say, I actually have this problem. Could you help me with it? Now, a lot of times people will joke, like if you've lost weight, they're going to joke, go, I need to lose weight. It's like, well, don't we all? But all jokes aside, if you ever want to talk about it, this is what I do. I'd be happy to talk about it and see if it's something I can help you with. Does it make sense? So you just got to have your heart in the right place, that you're blessing people, and tell them the reason I feel so blessed about my home-based business is because I feel blessed because I'm blessing people, and this is why. This is what I do and why I'm passionate about it. People will always respond greatly. So as you're now talking to people, and some people will say, I would like to learn more about it. Could you help me? Great. Now let's set an appointment, right? We'll get on a Zoom or we'll get on a FaceTime, whatever's easier for you, and we'll talk for a few minutes. And I'll just, I want to find out what your goals are and see if I can help you. And that's now where we're going to do a share, right? We're going to share. Maybe a product solution, maybe the business opportunity. We're going to share with them. And then we're going to log that in Teamzy that we shared and put them on that follow-ups list. Because here's what happens. I had this great conversation with Amy. She's excited. She's an enthusiastic person, right? She's like, wow, this is going to be great. I can't wait to get my products. This is going to be awesome. Yep. Send me those links, Eric. Thanks for taking the time with me. Send me those links. I'm going to show it to Brian. We're going to order this stuff tonight. Great. So what do? I'm going to log this in Teamzy. Why am I going to log this in Teamzy? Because 80% of the time, she's not going to actually place that order tonight. Right? You guys feel me? Has this happened to you? It's a statistic. I'm not judging Amy. 80% of the time, she's not going to place an order. I need her on my follow-ups list. If she does place the order, I'm going to follow up tomorrow and with service, right? But most likely she won't. So I'm going to look her up here because she's not on my list anymore, find her record. And then what I'm going to do here is open that Connect box. I'm going to put all the notes from our Zoom. And I need to log that video chat. Okay, there it is. And I'm going to log that it's a share. Now see that I click that button. Let's say I shared a product solution with her. Boom, I shared products. Now it's setting her, it put her automatically on my follow-ups. That's what that little calendar is. Now I'm going to click on that and make it for tomorrow. It defaults to 2 days, but I like to follow up the next day. Okay. So when I'm talking to her and she's like, yep, send me those links, I'm going to sign up. I say, perfect. I'm sending those over to you right now. Now, Amy, I'll check in with you tomorrow to see if you have any questions. Sound good? She says, perfect. Now I'm letting her know I'm going to follow up tomorrow. Okay. It's like a promise.
Can I share something here, Eric, real quick?
Yeah.
Hi. So what he's talking is you have a 24 follow-up. So in your follow-ups on your boards, all is you're going to do, what I do is I'll just do 24 FU, because I know that this person's going to order tonight, but chances are they're not. So I'm going to put it in and I'm going to log it for FU 24. And you have it right there in your boards that tells you with follow-ups what to do on 24 hours, what to do on 48 hours, what to do on 1 week, 2 weeks, all based off Xyngular Fast Chat.
Yep.
Okay, sorry.
So when you go to your dashboard now, you'll see when I go to my follow-ups list, I'll see there she is. She's got a follow-up due for tomorrow, right? So when I come work my follow-ups list, you can see I've got a few old ones here. I would need, so they're red when they're due. They're yellow when they're tomorrow, and they're green if you have 2 days, you don't have to worry about it yet, right? So what I'm going to do tomorrow, when I come do my power hour, I'll connect with my prospects, my customers, and my distributors, just as I showed you. And I'm going to do my follow-ups. All I'm going to do is go down my list and send a message to my follow-ups the same way. They're just going to be a follow-up message, right? So again, there's really no thinking that I have to do. I just need to do it. So when I come to Amy, I'm going to go to my scripts. I'm going to grab a follow-up script. Now these are labeled follow-up. You can't mess this up. And they're numbered. So the first one is follow-up 1. And here's how it reads. Hi, Jane, just checking in like I promised I would. What questions do you have for me? This script, by the way, the 2 scripts I showed you guys, just the connect script number 1 and follow-up number 1, I have to tell you, these are the most powerful scripts I've ever written. As simple as they seem. There's so much psychology in these. Hi, Jane, just checking in like I promised I would. What questions do you have for me? It's totally non-threatening, and it gets the message across, your heart across. So look, I'm going to do this the same way. I'm just going to go in there and change the name, right? Super easy. I'm going to send this to her. You guys see how fast I can do it. I'm going to just look her up real quick. And we're going to send her this follow-up message. Okay, so the follow-up message is now sent. And when I log it in Teamzy, because it's a follow-up, it's a little different. When I log this, Teamzy is going to say, okay, did that complete the follow-up you had scheduled? So yes, it does. So I'm going to leave it checked. And then I'm going to click on this, add another follow-up. Because now I want to follow up. Let's say I'll follow up on Friday now. So I'll set that follow-up and I can leave myself a note. It's going to be follow-up, let's say number 2, that I'm going to send next. Okay. So then, okay, great. That completes one follow-up and sets a new one. Perfect. So now it's got it all set up in Teamzy, and you can see she's back on there again for Friday. Does it make sense? Now, just to kind of make this easy, we've got, I put 10 scripts in here. Follow-up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay? You can use them in order. They're designed that way. Why is this? Because 80% of sales happen between the 7th and 10th follow-up. 80% of sales happen between the 7th and 10th follow-up. This is where most people mess this up. You go through all this work to start conversations. You get them all the way through the point of share. They're interested. And then you follow up 3 times. I guess they're not interested. How many of you guys have done this? 80% of sales happen between the 7th and 10th follow-up. And some take, I've had people on my follow-ups list a year. Okay. They're interested. Their life's just happening. Has life happened a lot in the last 12 months? Yes. Some people will, so 20% of people, they'll make that purchase in the next couple of days. They're in, they're ready to go. The rest of the people will take more. So we want them on that follow-up list. We want to keep following up. Now, let me just explain to you guys something about following up really quick, because I know I'm past my time. We'll do some quick Q&A for you guys. There's a way to follow up without being annoying. You can follow up 10, 20 times without being annoying. People will thank you. Oh my gosh, thank you for staying in touch. I really appreciate it. How many of you guys would like to get that message? It's real simple. I'm just going to teach it to you really quick. Now, if you use my scripts are already designed this way, but there's 2 principles for not being annoying. The first one is when you message somebody when it's a follow-up message, don't ask them to do anything. Don't ask them to call you or respond. They don't even have to respond. Okay, don't ask anything of them. You can ask them if they have questions, but don't ask them to, hey, could you do me a favor and just let me know if you're interested? This is like the worst thing you can do, by the way. How many of you guys are, how do I say this? Okay, I'm not going to ask you about you. I'm going to tell you about my wife. If you tell my wife, you need to decide right now, yes or no, guess what the answer is always going to be? No. Then it's no, get out of my face, right? It's just the way she's wired. I love her. She's amazing. But I'm just saying, like maybe I learned from her. So I don't put people in that position. Just follow up. Don't ask anything. You're just there to remind them that you're present. I'm here for you, right? The second principle is this. When you're sending a follow-up message, it needs to be short. They need to be able to read the whole thing without opening it. Does this make sense? They have to be able to read the whole thing without opening it. Why? Because most of the time it comes at the wrong moment and they're not going to open it. They don't want to send that read receipt because they can't respond right now. Did you guys do this? But they want to see what it says on that lock screen because they want to know. We're so wired to want to know what it says. So when they see your message and it's short enough, and if it's long, you guys, and they have to open it to read the rest of it, I'm annoyed. Make sense? Also, just this probably goes without saying, but calling people on the phone, people don't like to be called on the phone, so I've been talking about messaging, just important. A lot of times people follow up by leaving voicemails. People hate getting voicemails. How many of you guys like getting voicemails? So text them or message them. Short, they can read it quickly. Make sense? You won't be annoying. But what happens is every time they get those little messages from you, things like, hey, I just checking in to see if you have any questions. Or, hey, I love the goals you set. I'm here to help you when you're ready. These little messages that they'll be getting, they make them feel good about you. Does this make sense? And if I had more time, I'd go into the psychology of why people are excited and then don't order. It's you got to understand, and I know some of you guys understand how the subconscious mind works. What you are offering them, Xyngular, career, new products, it's change. We're change averse. We're change averse. As excited as they are talking to you, their subconscious mind is like, Don, we ain't doing that. I know you're excited now, but I'm going to distract you. This is your subconscious mind. I'm going to distract you in a minute. We're not doing that change thing. That's not cool. So what happens is these messages over time, the reason why 80% of sales happen between the 7th and 10th follow-up is every follow-up is what happens is they get this little nice message from you. You look down and you feel good about it. You're sending a signal to your brain that says, Eric's not such a bad guy. Make sense? You're staying top of mind. It's like over time, they subconsciously feel more comfortable with what you're talking about. And then they respond. I'm so sorry I haven't responded. In their mind, it's totally justified. The dog threw up on the baby the first time. The second time I was, preparing raw chicken. I couldn't touch my phone. I was driving my car, all these things I was in church. Like, who messages me in church? I can't respond. So they've justified why they didn't respond every time in their mind. Does this make sense? So you just got to stay present. You got to stay present with them. And if you're really in this business because you want to help people, because you love people, this is the way you love people, is by following up. It's not something that's annoying. It's an act of love, right? And it's one of my mantras. Following up is an act of love. If somebody comes to you for help and you say, yeah, based on what you're telling me, I can help you. Here's the program I think you should do. And they don't respond to the next 4 or 5 follow-ups, do you suddenly not want to help them anymore? You still want to help them. So you got to let them know, I'm still here. Does it make sense? And what happens is, as you guys are working in Teamzy consistently, you're creating conversations. Over time, you're building up relationships. But every single month, people on that follow-ups list will close. They'll come off the follow-ups list. They'll get involved. They'll get started. Some of them might have been on there a while. It's okay. Every month, consistently, you'll be creating new team members. You'll be creating new customers or re-engaging old customers, right? And you'll see that consistent, those numbers that I was telling you guys about, those crazy numbers, 36 customers every 90 days, right? Does it make sense? That's how the system works. That's why so many people have loved the system. I know you guys know the twins, as they're referred to in Xyngular. And right, they're amazing. And they're largely responsible for getting corporate engaged with Teamzy and getting a discount for you guys. And Danielle messaged me every once in a while, and a few months ago she messaged me and said, I can really tell who's using Teamzy and who's not by how fast their business is growing, right? And with you guys, Xyngular is really cool. You guys do promotions like is it almost every month you got a promotion? It seems like it. It's really often that you guys have promotions, which creates a lot of energy for growth in the business. Having that many promotions is really a blessing. You guys need to take advantage of that, right? So you need a system so you can keep up on it. So hopefully that was helpful. I know there's a lot of things I wanted to show you that maybe we ran out of time, but hopefully you guys got some good meat and potatoes here today that you can implement into your business. Let me just kind of give you a couple of action steps really quick. The first one I think is probably the no-brainer, which is go get a free trial of Teamzy, right? Go get a free trial, start using it. If you're intimidated by the setup at all, like Amy said, hit the help button and ask for help, and my team will set it up for you. Okay, we'll set up a session for you. It's pretty simple, but you may need the extra help, and that's all good. But don't mess around. Don't procrastinate it. Get in there and start using it. And I highly recommend that maybe look around and maybe look around the call, or maybe there's other people on the team who didn't make it today that maybe could be your success partner. Say, hey, let's commit to a month of this and hold each other accountable. Success partners really help because it's easy to blow yourself off. It's hard to blow another person off. Does this make sense? And so that's why there's more than one person in the world, because we are just not designed to work by ourselves. We need other people to help hold us accountable and to drive us. So get a success partner, get a free trial, get a success partner. Now, after the free trial is up, to continue having a subscription to Teamzy, we usually charge $30 a month for Teamzy subscription. But for Xyngular folks, it's $19.95, which is pretty cool. It's a third off. So that comes out to like 60 cents a day to have a personal assistant in your business. Pretty good, right? So, and then when you really love Teamzy, you can actually do 12 months at a time and get it for even less. So it's a pretty great bargain. Plus you write it off your taxes anyways. So I highly encourage you guys to get those free trials going. Get a subscription going, because we'd love to keep working with you. Again, it takes a little bit of time to build the momentum, but then as you maintain the momentum, you're going to see that consistent growth. Make sense? All right. So real quick, we'll open up to questions. If you guys have any specific questions about anything, feel free to unmute.
Can I share something real quick, Eric?
Sure.
We are 2 days away from Zing Fling, Eric, and you were supposed to come last year, and then that stupid pandemic hit.
Is it virtual again?
What's that? It's
virtual. Still virtual?
It's virtual. We were supposed to be in California, which would have been perfect for you, but we are virtual. And there was one more thing I was going to say. I can't say enough about the 60 cents a day on how much it's helped us build our business, and I won't live without it. Absolutely won't live without it.
Thank you. And let me plug Xingfling, because I want you guys to know, if you're serious about building this business, you can never miss a corporate event. Corporate events are musts. You have to put those in the calendar and always go to them. I know that the virtual thing's not quite the same, because you're not getting fellowship, you're not getting to break bread with the team, but there's an energy to having your own business. That energy needs to be lifted at least once a quarter. And we do it. That's why there's conventions in every business. How many of you guys have been to conventions for work or whatever? The reason why there's conventions in every business is because business people need a quarterly lift. It's just part of our rhythm as human beings. And so always make sure that you go to the corporate events. Make sure that you do it also so that your team members go to the corporate event. It's a no-brainer. It's so funny because when I don't do network marketing, just so you guys know, because of Teamzy. I had to leave that business so that there wasn't a conflict of interest as we started helping people from other businesses. But when I started with my business, there was a corporate convention in a week. And I was like, oh, there's a convention, I have to go. And my sponsor was like, you're going to go? I was like, yeah, because if I'm in this business, I got to go to the convention. I already understood that as a coach. Does it make sense? So anyways, I'm taking away from the presentation to go do Teamzy, but I'm telling you guys too, if Xingfling is coming right up, you should make some time for that, figure it out, call out sick from work, whatever you need to do to be on those sessions. There, did I plug that for you, Amy? Does anyone have any questions about the presentation tonight?
Hi, Eric, it's Dawn.
Hi, Dawn.
So I already signed up for this because we had talked about it and something probably a month ago. And of course, I'm so busy, I didn't do anything. I saw the emails coming in and people reached out to help, but I just didn't have time. So is there a way I can re-up that 2-week trial or reconnect with that person?
Yep.
Okay.
Yes. If you respond to any of those emails that you got and just say, can I restart my trial? I missed it.
Okay.
or you can start it, or if you want to just send an email, it's the address is support@teamzy.com. Support.
Okay.
Yeah, there's no way you're going to blow it off now. Now you just spent some time with me. You're fired up, right?
Yeah.
That's good.
Thank you.
Sure thing. Any other questions? Oh, I'm going to give you one more action step. How many of you guys like a good challenge? Okay, so I'm going to give you the 5-day challenge. 5-day challenge. Here's the deal. Maybe you're like Dawn and you signed up for a free trial and let it slip away. Here's what I want to challenge you guys to do. I want you to use Teamzy for 5 days in a row. Okay, 5 days in a row. Could you guys do that? And what I want you to do is I want you to message 20 people a day. Regardless of whatever your goals are, I want you to message 20 people a day for just for 5 days, just to see if you can do it, right? And it could be any combination, I don't care, of prospects, customers, team members. It could be your mom. It could be family. I don't care, anybody. Just send 20 messages a day for 5 days. Why do I want you to do this? Because the results will astound you. You guys will be blown away. And there's nothing I can tell you on this call that will demonstrate more the ability you have to create relational momentum than doing that. Some of you guys will be mad at me. Some of you who have actually spent a lot of time in your life building trust with people and maybe not even realizing it just because of the person you are, will get 100% response. You'll be like, I'm in 100 chats right now, Eric Johnson. I'm so mad at you. But it's okay. Look, feeling overwhelmed sometimes is fine, because when you're being overwhelmed by opportunity, that's what success feels like. You guys, the difference between successful people and unsuccessful people isn't that they're overwhelmed or have all their S together. Successful people are overwhelmed with opportunity, and unsuccessful people are overwhelmed with worry, anxiety. Does this make sense? So I want you to be overwhelmed. I just want to change what you're overwhelmed by. Right? And then you can come back to Teamzy and be like, Eric, I need time management training. That's okay. We have that. We have training on everything. We can help you with everything. Okay. But then you have higher quality problems. My business partner, Mike Lopez, always says it's a higher quality problem. It's a higher quality problem. So we want to get you into higher quality problems each level. Make sense? So hopefully that's helpful. I hope that you guys got a lot out of this. I will get you, Amy, I'll get you the recording to this for the rest of the team. Probably in the morning, maybe tonight, probably in the morning, you'll get it. But we do have this whole call recorded. Does anyone else have any other questions before I send you off? Okay. So again, thanks for having me, Amy. I really appreciate it. I appreciate your support. I'm excited for your success, for everybody on this call. It's humbling for me to be part of your success story, and I hope that we'll continue to work together. But I just want to say thanks for spending some time with me tonight. Hopefully it was valuable for you. God bless you guys, and have a great night.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Eric. Thanks for everything. Will you send me the recording?
Yep.